Imagine this. You open your eyes. The cockpit screens flicker to life. Dozens of digital indicators are glowing across the console right in front of you. And you find yourself sitting at 15,000 meters in altitude inside a completely silent, totally invisible aircraft. Outside, it's a dark June night in 1941. Below you, Germany's eastern borders stretch out into the darkness. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down one of the most fascinating tactical what-if scenarios ever conceived. We're stepping right into a high-stakes, history-altering operation, looking at what happens when modern technology gets dropped squarely into the middle of the Second World War.
So, what if you actually flew a B-2 bomber in 1941? Let's dive right in. You're the pilot, and you've got a single, absolutely crucial mission: eliminate Adolf Hitler on the very eve of Operation Barbarossa. It's June 1941. Germany is kicking off the largest land invasion in human history, pushing into Soviet territory with 3 million soldiers, 3,000 tanks, and over 2,500 aircraft. It's massive. And there you are, sitting at the controls of the most advanced stealth bomber the world has ever seen, the B-2 Spirit. But you're going up against the most brutal, highly organized war machine history has ever known.
70 to 80 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. If Operation Barbarossa succeeds, the siege of Leningrad, Stalingrad, Auschwitz, Dachau, all of those horrors are going to follow. 70 to 80 million is the projected total death toll of the impending war if your mission fails. There will literally never be a better night to stop this massive tragedy from happening. But to do it, it requires absolute zero-margin precision.
Section 1. Advanced Tech, Severe Limits.
To pull this off, the units that sent you handed over an operational intelligence file pulled straight from a future CIA database. We're talking Hitler's hourly movement schedule, bunker coordinates, fuel depots, and the exact positions of the railway hubs feeding Army Group Center. Sounds like you hold all the cards, right? Well now, what's really interesting about this is the terrifying technological whiplash you're dealing with. In the modern era, the B-2 relies entirely on GPS-guided weapons and satellite signals. But in 1941, there isn't a single satellite in orbit. None. That means you are entering coordinates and calculating wind factors completely manually. It's like a giant, high-stakes math puzzle. Enter one wrong number, and you hit the wrong building. Plus, with a modern aerial refueling tanker, a B-2 can fly for up to 44 hours. In 1941, there are 0 tankers in the sky. You got roughly 4 hours of active flight time. You either finish the mission and return, or you crash. The whole shebang rides on that window.
Adding to all that pressure, the enemy's defense network, the Freya and Wurzburg radar systems. Now, these were considered incredibly advanced for their time, creating this massive early warning net all across Europe. Just picture the scene down below for a second. Hundreds of German radar operators sitting in these dark rooms, staring unblinking at their screens, actively scanning the night sky for literally any sign of an incursion. But here is the absolute chilling irony of the situation. This massive, state-of-the-art 1940s defense network, it's completely blind to you. The radar tech of the time simply cannot process the stealth coating and composite materials of your aircraft. You are a ghost. You're passing directly over their heads at 15,000 meters, and they have absolutely no idea you're even there. But as you know, stealth alone isn't going to complete the mission.
Section 2. Crippling the War Machine.
Now, you might be wondering, why not just drop a bomb on Hitler's bunker right now and call it a day? Well, the CIA file is crystal clear on this. A direct hit on the bunker on your very first strike is basically suicide. There are fake convoys, underground tunnels, deep shelters. Hit the bunker, and he either escapes or just never surfaces at all. You have to force him out into the open. So you execute this rapid-fire sequence of tactical hits to cripple the flow of their war machine. Step 1. You manually target the Brest-Litovsk railway junction, completely severing the main supply line feeding hundreds of rail cars to Army Group Center. Step 2. You obliterate the German High Command's communication center. Operators down in the radio room lose contact instantly. Actually, scratch that. You don't just disrupt it, you completely sever their critical communications while 3 million soldiers are trying to move.
Down on the ground, the German radio reaction is just pure, utter confusion. Nobody is screaming about an air raid. Why? Because there's no sound. There's no radar signature. So their initial reports are guessing it's a possible accident, or maybe ground sabotage. They totally fail to realize they're being bombed from the sky. But while they are scrambling trying to find answers, your clock is ticking. Your first hour of fuel is already completely gone, and you haven't even touched the primary target yet.
Section 3. Flushing out the target. Let's look at the psychological warfare.
Let's dive into this shell game.
To get that evacuation order, you turn your attention to the red-marked area from your CIA file, the headquarters itself. But remember, a direct hit is way too risky. Instead, you target the logistics point right next to the HQ to induce panic. It's a strike close enough to severely rattle the command structure, but not a direct hit on the leader himself. The whole goal is to make them think the ground is no longer safe. And it works. The exact thing you need happens. The evacuation order is given. But the Germans, they aren't easy prey. They immediately split into 3 simultaneous convoys. Convoy 1 takes the flashy main road with heavy protection, Convoy 2 takes a super stealthy forest road with disciplined spacing, and Convoy 3 takes an ordinary town road, sticking dangerously close to civilians. If you guess wrong, Hitler escapes. You have to act fast. Boom. You send a missile toward the first flashy convoy on the main road. It disappears in a massive explosion. Immediately, you pivot to the second convoy, trying to hide beneath the trees on the forest road. They cut their lights, trying to use that old-world trick of visual camouflage. But your aircraft is equipped with advanced, heat-sensitive thermal sensors. You easily track their heat signatures right through the canopy, lock on, and obliterate the second convoy.
2 convoys down, but wow, the game just changed completely. The Nazis now realize the threat isn't ground sabotage at all. It's coming from the sky. The tension ramps up immensely here. Alert airfields start scrambling fighter planes, but of course their radars can't lock on, and their planes can't comfortably reach 15,000 meters anyway. They are quite literally searching for a ghost in the dark. Meanwhile, anti-aircraft batteries on the ground begin opening blind fire into the sky. They can't see you, but one lucky shot, that could cripple you, preventing you from lowering your altitude to get a better targeting angle.
And right at this intensely chaotic moment, your eyes drop to your console. 85% consumed, just 15% remaining. You are hitting the red line. The ticking clock is literally deafening right now. If you don't turn back immediately, you are going to crash. And think about the stakes. If you crash, German engineers will recover the B-2's wreckage, handing Nazi Germany intact stealth coating, composite materials, and 21st century avionics. That would alter history in a way that is just too terrifying to even comprehend.
Section 4. The Final Dilemma. Things are about to get incredibly tense.
You can't leave yet. The third and final convoy enters a narrow road, halting right in the middle of a crowded civilian town center. Your sensors catch the heat signatures inside the vehicle one last time. You have a firing lock, but your clear angle is closing fast, which brings us to the brutal, heavy reality of this explainer. You are no longer just a pilot, you are the architect of history. You have seconds to decide. Do you pull the trigger, successfully eliminating Hitler and saving 70 to 80 million lives, knowing for sure you will instantly wipe out the innocent civilians in that town center? Or do you hold your fire, spare the town, and allow the horrors of history to continue exactly as we know them? It's a staggering moral dilemma born from an absolutely wild tactical scenario. Think about what you would do. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.